To Nigeria now, where the UN has warned that the humanitarian crisis in the northeast remains severe. This is despite government claims of successfully driving out Boko Haram insurgents. UN humanitarian coordinator Mark Lowcock says increasing cases of malnutrition are being reported, especially in remote territories. CGTN's Kelechi Emekalam has more details.
Security. But we feel that this must
The latest assessment is contained in the 2018 Human Development Report for the Northeast. The government says Boko Haram is defeated and it's dealing with post-conflict situation in the Northeast. It has so far moved up to 1.8 million displaced persons back to their original homes. But the UN now says the rapid repatriation could expose millions to Boko Haram attacks and put them out of reach of humanitarian aid. An earlier report shows at least 800,000 people in need of relief are still inaccessible to aid agencies.
But it is important to recognise that it would be counterproductive to return people to unsafe areas. That simply puts them back at renewed risk from the insurgents, and it would be counterproductive for people to go back to places where services, schools and clinics can't be provided, or where there aren't livelihood opportunities, because again that runs the risk that they become more vulnerable to the behaviour and the activities of the insurgents.
The Northeast has been grappling with severe case of malnutrition. Thousands were saved when aid agencies intensified treatment, but the report suggests a potential relapse.
The humanitarian situation is still quite bad. There are still quite large numbers of children arriving in settlements from inaccessible areas with very high rates of malnutrition. There is a need for better access, for better protection for people, for better coordination between the military and the civil authorities. The military part of the strategy to deal with the insurgents is an essential part of it, but needs to be well coordinated with other parts of the strategy.
Despite claims of Boko Haram's defeat, humanitarian crisis in the Northeast seems to be far from over. And that's why the UN's humanitarian coordinator and emergency relief head will be heading to the region to assess for themselves the scale of humanitarian crisis with a possibility of stepping up intervention. Kelechi, Emekalam, CGTN, Abuja, Nigeria.